The reason why you are receiving terrible job offers and aren't making enough money to buy a Lambo is because you suck at negotiating. While I'd recommend against buying a brand new Lamborghini in this economy, that doesn't mean you should leave money on the table when you're negotiating your next job offer. Cody, the recruiter added me on LinkedIn and we're BFFs and they would never betray me. You need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, kiddo. The recruiter only wants to help you enough to get you to sign on the dotted line so they can move along to their next job candidate. What's up everyone? My name is Cody Engel and I've been a software engineer and engineering manager for around a decade. I've also been making videos about the tech industry and software engineering world for about 3 years. Today, you're going to learn how to never split the difference and negotiate like a professional right after you smash the like button to help spread the good word. When it comes to negotiating a job offer like a professional, the first thing to keep in mind is that you are at a massive disadvantage. This is because of the information asymmetry that exists between you and the recruiter you're talking with. The recruiter knows what the salary range is for the position you're interviewing for. They've also spoken with other candidates and have gathered information about what those candidates are currently making, along with understanding what their own salary expectations are. You, on the other hand, don't have access to any of that information unless you are interviewing for an especially progressive employer or live in a state with requirements to disclose salary ranges in job postings. Sure, you can do some research on the internet by looking at levels.fyi or watching videos on this YouTube channel, but even then you will never have the same amount of information as the recruiter. This is why it's important to not disclose your current salary, and you should also avoid giving any salary expectations without first knowing the pay range for the position you're interviewing for. Whenever a recruiter asks me about my current salary, I will politely respond by saying that information is only relevant to my current employer and it's based on the value I bring to them on a daily basis. As we go through the interview process, I hope to learn more about what kind of value I'll be able to bring to your company, so I'd like to wait until we are further along in the process to talk about money. If the recruiter keeps pressing, it's important to stand your ground. If you live in any of these states, it's also illegal for the recruiter to ask about your current or past salary history. If the recruiter says they need your salary expectations to continue with the interview, then it's probably a good idea to end the process then and there. They're probably being so pushy because they know they are not able to meet current market salaries. Instead of wasting their time by interviewing you only to realize they can't possibly afford you, they would rather know that you are open to being paid less than you're worth. Of course, you're not open to being paid less than you're worth because if you were, you wouldn't be watching this video. It's important to make sure you are interviewing with the right companies, and the easiest way to get a good job offer is to weed out all of the cheapskates. Also, none of this is to say that you shouldn't talk about money with the recruiter at all. In fact, talking to recruiters on a more regular basis can help you better understand your current value in the job market. When a recruiter reaches out on LinkedIn for a short 15-minute phone call, it would be in your best interest to talk with them even if you aren't looking for a job currently. During these conversations, you should not disclose your current salary, but you should ask the recruiter about the salary range for the position they're hiring for. I'd recommend collecting this information in a spot where it would be easy to retrieve sometime in the future. A spreadsheet is probably fine, but if you like to overcomplicate things, then feel free to use something like Notion. Whatever tool you use, be sure to include information on the job title, location, years of experience, and most importantly, the salary range. I already mentioned watching videos on this channel and using levels.fyi as another way to research salaries, but those aren't your only options. Robert Half's salary calculator can help give you rough salary expectations, with the only downside being that the positions aren't as exact as I'd like them to be. For example, there's only one option for mobile applications developer without the distinction of levels. Indeed.com has their own salary calculator as well, although I'm not sure what they do for data accuracy. The numbers I've seen reported on their website are quite a bit lower than numbers I've seen in the real world. That brings up an important distinction to make when researching salaries to get the best job offer possible. You need to make sure that where you get your information from is presenting the data in a realistic manner. Salaries tend to increase over time, and when working in the tech industry, they tend to increase at a faster rate. This means that data can become outdated within a matter of years, and if you're getting an average salary based on 10 or 20 years worth of data, it's going to be skewed quite a bit lower than what companies are currently paying. To help avoid this, I only use websites that clearly show when data is no longer valid. I've also found looking at job boards that list salary ranges can be useful as well. LinkedIn is one source, and funny enough, Indeed can be another one as well, providing the numbers come directly from the job posting. After doing your research, you should have a firm understanding of what you're looking for in your next job offer. If you don't have a firm understanding, I'd recommend continuing to research until you have a good grasp for what you want to ask ask for. You may even consider watching my Software Salaries playlist several times in a row before going to bed. At some point though, you will be ready to negotiate that next job offer. Once you have successfully gone through the interview process with one or more companies, emotions will probably be running high, and it's a good idea to keep in mind two very basic emotional needs that everyone has. The first is to feel secure, and the second is to feel in control. In order to ensure the other person on the other side of the table feels secure and in control, I'd recommend asking yourself 3 simple questions, which are: what are the other person's real desires? What does this person fear losing the most? And how can you show them that your preferred outcome will lead to their preferred outcome as well? To simplify your job offer negotiation even further, I'll give you the general answers to those questions right after I tell you about today's sponsor, Shortform. With Shortform, you get the world's best guides to nonfiction books. I really like how detailed their book guides are, along with the smart insights they include in their summaries that connect ideas from one author to another. Whether you want to read books on business, self-improvement, technology, psychology, or anything in between, Shortform has you covered. If you want to get better at negotiating job offers, then I'd recommend checking out Freakonomics to learn more about information asymmetry, as well as Never Split the Difference to learn how to negotiate as if your life depended on it. Both of those book guides were used while writing the script for this video. Shortform is a great tool that will help you get ahead in your career, and an annual subscription costs about as much as 1 book per month. Go to shortform.com/Cody to get 5 days of unlimited access and an additional 20% discount on your annual subscription. You can find the link to sign up for Shortform in the description just below the subscribe button. If you want to help make the other person you're negotiating with feel like they are in control and secure, then these are some general things you should keep in mind. Understand why this person in particular cares about filling the position you are now receiving a job offer for. If it's a hiring manager, then they will probably want to do all they can to ensure you accept the job offer. This doesn't mean that they will give you $300,000 a year when the top of their budget is $200,000, but it could help you get a better sign-on bonus, additional equity, a better bonus target, or maybe you can just take every Friday off in the summer with no questions asked, because we all know the 40-hour work week is a complete scam. The hiring manager is probably feeling all the pain from not having you at the company today, so they will do everything they can to get you on board. If you're negotiating with the recruiter, then you probably won't be able to take every Friday off in the summer, but maybe they will help to increase your overall total compensation, because the sooner they hire you, the sooner they can focus on hiring for the next role. If you're negotiating with some random person in HR that couldn't care less about whether or not you accept the offer, well, you might be out of luck, but I'd recommend reaching out to the hiring manager or recruiter you have been working with to see if they can go to bat for you. Keep in mind that the hiring manager and recruiter are worried that you will decline the job offer and they will have to go back to square one, which is incredibly time consuming. Whoever you are negotiating with, it's always a good idea to let them know that you are excited to join the company and the only thing that is keeping you from doing so is the job offer in its current state. This could put the other person on the defensive, and you should be prepared to answer some more difficult questions. Some questions to expect include: do you have any other offers? Are we your top choice? How soon can you start? And if we are able to make you an offer tomorrow that meets your expectations, will you accept? With those questions, it's more important to focus on the intent as opposed to the question itself. Asking if the company is your top choice is trying to figure out if you are seriously considering working at the company or if you just want to use their offer to get a better offer elsewhere. Asking if you'd accept the offer tomorrow also gives them a better idea of how invested you are with joining the company. If they are asking how soon you could join, they're trying to see how much thought you've actually put into quitting and starting a new job. After reassuring the other person, you should be prepared to ask for everything you are looking for all at once. If you are happy with the equity amount, but you want a higher bonus target along with $15,000 more on the base salary, then you should ask for all of those things at the same time. Also, be sure to indicate which ones are the highest priority, and if you have competing job offers, it's a good idea to mention what those offers look like so that the recruiter and hiring manager can provide that market data to their finance team. The reason you want to do all of this at the same time is to make it very clear what you're looking for, and if they're able to meet those requirements, they can feel confident that you will sign the offer letter. If the other person comes back and they're unable to meet your requirements, you can still try to negotiate a little bit more. Before doing so, I'd recommend reiterating the value that you would bring to the company, along with your eagerness to join the company. After that, you can try coming down a little bit on your requests, but also be firm with your must-have items. You may also try getting a little creative by asking for a sign-on bonus to offset a lower than expected salary, or asking for more time off. Knowing that the other person wants you to join the company, you may even ask them if there's anything they could offer that you haven't asked for yet. If the other side cannot meet your must-have requirements though, then you must be prepared to walk away. If you aren't prepared to walk away, that could be an indication that those must-haves were actually nice-to-haves. Negotiating a better job offer is more of an art than a science. Sometimes you'll only want more money, while other times you may want more time off, or being able to only work 4 days a week instead of 5. Of course, it doesn't really matter how good you are at negotiating if you never receive a job offer to begin with. If you're wondering what the typical software engineer interview process looks like, then I'd recommend checking out this video right now. If you want to talk more about negotiating job offers or need another pair of eyes on the offers you're currently considering, then check out our Discord. A link can be found in the description below, and it's completely free to join. That's it. That's the video.